YouTube, welcome to the top 8 grand finale and top deck list of the new pack day where Mitsurugi is freaking everywhere, thus you need to be playing Duel. We're going to start this off with MagMitsurugi. There is no Ryzeal down here, and at the top, are they playing Ryzeal? No, well, whoops, there is Ryzeal Detonator. Okay, it looks like at the top we have Fiendsmith, Ryzeal, and Mitsurugi against MagMitsurugi. Watch as long as you can. That greatly supports the events. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
White Forest is missing support, and I guess the good question is, where is White Forest? Why is Konami not releasing it? Droll in Lockbird. We could chain the Mitsurugi prayers in response to the Droll. We could Ash negate the prayers, and now the Preparation can't search. The Zerora attaching a Magistus can't search. We got completely messed up here. Now, despite that, we're still going to Zerora equip the Fusion to reborn the Spenta from Engrave to turn both bodies into a Little Knight Nibiru pass. Okay, we could banish, we could tribute off the field after 5 summons, but tributing against a Mitsurugi deck, if they have not used their tribute effect yet, they'll just come right back onto the field. As we grab a Habakari through the prayers, also special summoning the Kusanagi to add back from Engrave the prayers. Let's activate the Habakiri to summon the Aramasa to trigger and search for a Mitsurugi monster as the Little Knight banishes away the Kusanagi. Now we're left with just Nibiru. With just Nibiru, when is going to be the best point to even activate it? What really sucks about Nibiru here, well actually, I was going to say that Nibiru has to tribute or discard the pre-prep to even use its effect, but you can discard the Nibiru itself, and if we read Nibiru, it does not state that you're going to special summon then tribute the field, because obviously that wouldn't make sense. It also does not say tribute and special summon. It is tribute, and if you do, you get to special summon, which means if we don't have Nibiru in the hand, it still tributes the field. Let's Habakiri, searching for the ritual it up, as we're now, that's it. The Murakumo is going to be triggering its effect, but we do have to take note of the fact that the Futso has still not been tributed. So it will have the effect through a Nibiru to reborn back onto the field. Magatama to the hand, come back, Murakumo. 5,200 damage, we are not done. We could wait until the end of the main phase. Now, there is a potential fear that they would be able to go into the Photon Lord, which they're not playing. At the end of main phase 1, we're not doing anything. At the end of main phase 2, forcing them to discard a card. We're also going to chain the Mitsurugi prayers, which we could instead discard what we add from the deck to our hand. Add a Futsu on the resolution, get rid of the Futsu. Nibiru, tribute off the field, and then the opposing Futsu is going to be reborning. Now, what exactly does the Futsu do in addition to searching another form of potential disruption here? We're not playing the trap. Futsu states that if the opponent special summons a card, we could reborn a reptile from Engrave, which would be the Murakumo if we want to, or we could reborn the Murakumo with the prayers. We're going to use our pre-prep to grab a Habakiri plus a mirror. Habakiri, summon the Saji, tribute off the Saji to dodge a targeting negate as we grab a Mitsurugi ritual mate. Activate to ritual summon using the deck, tributing off the Kusanagi and the Aramasa. We're going to add from Engrave and add from the deck. We could add any Mitsurugi card from Engrave. The Futsu will now be triggering to reborn the Aramasa. As we're going to chain Little Knight, banish away the Futsu. The Magatama is going to tribute off the Futsu to destroy the Habakiri. The Little Knight's going to stay on the field. The Futsu's still going to reborn a monster from Engrave, but now the Futsu is going to self-reborn and search the deck for a follow-up. Come to us, add the Murakumo. Let's now activate the Futsu, and also chain link block potentially from, let's say, a Ghost Spell as we further search our deck for a Mitsurugi. What's very important about the reborn effect of the Mitsurugi rituals is you must have a card in the deck to search to even reborn. You could very easily be in a scenario where you're out of Mitsurugi cards to even search, and then you're wondering, why is my Murakumo not reborning? As we now go into an Apollo USA. Now, we can, in many circumstances, chain link block the Apollo with our Murakumo attempting to wipe the field. We're going to be resummoning our Habakiri from the graveyard through the effect of the prayers. We're going to be activating the Futsu. Futsu is going to be negated by the Apollo more than once per turn. Every time you try to, or special summon a monster, we will be triggering to reborn. Grab the prayers, and we can only negate it 2 more times. So if we special summon 3 more times, that is 3 more special summons. As the Murakumo is now activating to wipe the entire opposing field, and I talked about this ruling earlier, if another reptile would be destroyed by battle card effect, you could tribute this instead. If you're shooting a bullet at all of the monsters, you cannot have that monster jump in the other to take a bullet because they already have their own bullet coming towards them. Thus, cannot be destroyed instead. We're going to attempt to reborn the Murakumo. We're going to Apollo negate. Now, should Apollo have even negated here, the Murakumo would reborn, it would immediately get wiped, the Murakumo would not trigger to wipe the opposing field. This effect was essentially useless to negate. It would have done nothing. Let's add a Magatama, wipe the entire opposing field, open field, 6,400 damage, as we now pass back to you. Let's see what we have here. The prayer states that the monster you summon cannot attack directly, so that's why the Habakiri cannot attack directly. We're going to force them to discard a pre-prep to resolve the mirror, reborning the Murakumo. Murakumo is going to be activating. Now Apollo cannot negate because, as I keep on saying about this card, it's a Raigeki that easily gets chain link blocked. If we have imperm, even if we tried to imperm it, the prayers would be chained to dodge the impermanence. Can't target negate, can't chain negate. We're negating something else as we lose our entire field. Magatama is going to be tributing off the Habakiri to come back on a separate chain link. As we wipe it, we still have the prayers in the back row to reborn the Murakumo whenever we want to also wipe away their field. Mirror is going to be returning back. The prayers is going to be chaining to that, as we're going to be chaining our own prayers to, we're going to use the 800 life point effect to reborn. Reborn back, come forth. And what's interesting, if you Dark Ruler No More them, Dark Ruler No More states that your opponent takes no damage. And that would stop the prayers from being able to inflict damage to yourself to even reborn. So that part of the effect would be turned off. Our own Murakumo is now triggering, and so is ours. Well, no, we're activating the effect where they have to discard, so it actually has no freaking effect. Attempting to wipe out the field, no wipe for you. Interesting back and forth as the Murakumo stops the opposing Murakumo. And then we have the prayers to reborn our Murakumo, which we may just do right away. If we reborn the Murakumo right away, whatever they activate from the hand will be negated because they need another card in hand to discard. Do we do it? No, we're just gonna wait. Spenta into the Artemis. Spenta in Grave is going to be targeting the Artemis. We're now gonna be chaining the prayer. Now the Spenta is equipping the Artemis with a Magistus from the extra deck. Come forth, Murakumo. Murakumo will be triggering on summon to wipe away the opposing field, say goodbye to the Artemis, and if they had anything activated on Grave, let's say an Engraver, it would just be negated. Well done to both players. What? What? Battle phase skipped? What happened? Why did we? Oh, it's summoned from prayers. The prayers does not stop it from attacking directly the turn it was summoned. It forever could not attack directly. Quick, go through the last 1,000 hours of YCSs and find how many people attacked directly with this the turn after it was summoned. There is no way. Oh my Jesus. Dude could not attack directly. Back to back, he has no freaking play. I cannot believe this is happening. 3,200 on the field, 1,200 life. He cannot attack. Finally has an Ice Ryzeal. On summon, it burn is going to negate, but we have 1,700 damage. Mate. Negate. We don't care. Lethal damage finally. Cross out designate. You're not going to, for fun, activate the Murakumo? Lethal damage. Let's prayers in the draw phase. Ua loss it up. And I've continually said, the way to beat Mitsurugi, as we've seen in today's event, is a resolved Fua or Max C. And many would say that, well, that's how you beat everything. Yep. Interesting plays here. Now, the Masquerena is going to go into a Dynamundo, or it could be a Little Knight for a double banish. We have the Magatama to pop a card in the field. We have Imperm to negate a monster in the field. We could finger a card in the grave. We could Murakumo, wipe away the field, and force them to discard about 7 forms of disruption against a 7-card hand. Let's go. Pre-prep, searching for a mirror plus our Ritual Habakiri. We're going to start this off with Engraver, further searching. Call with the Grave, fingering the Engraver. No tracked search for you. And also, no Engraver Reborn for the rest of the turn. Now, our follow-up will be a mirror play. We're going to tribute off the Habakiri to summon our Murakumo, attempting to wipe away the opposing field. Now, the Masquerena, whatever is summoned, will not be destroyed by the Murakumo field wipe. We're not going to be chaining our Murakumo to force them to discard as we further go into the Dynamundo. Dynamundo, so we lose the Little Knight secondary banish. The Dynamundo on summon is going to be spinning back the Murakumo, forcing them to discard the Futsu, potentially. We're going to chain prayers to tribute the Futsu to search for another card that will be discarding instead. We'll get rid of the Habakiri, then Futsu will trigger to search the card from our deck as we say goodbye to that. Spin back in the deck, search our deck with a Futsu, and we do have the Dynamundo with the ability to reborn the Murakumo. Murakumo was properly summoned, so you do want to be checking for that. As we Mitsurugi Ritual, send from the deck as we summon our Murakumo, and we're now going to Kusanagi plus the Serpent. We're going to add back the prayers and reborn the Serpent. Still have pop. Could still force them to discard and wipe the field. Field wipe, discard, monster negate, and pop. We are going to use our own Magatama to take out the Habakiri on field. We're just chilling with the Dynamundo. It is whenever we want, we're going to wipe away your field with its effect to summon the Murakumo. Let's summon our own Murakumo from Engrave. We already used all of its effects. What? You're gonna give them a Futsu? What the? Oh my Jesus. So we summon Futsu and then it's ours. Well, that sucks. And so we had 4 disruption. We now don't wipe the field. We don't force them to discard. We can't Magatama. We only have impermanence. Wow. We got blown the F out. Or we just add back. It is optional. You don't have to special summon it. It's add to the hand or special summon. -3 disruption off of a single triple tactics talent. That was a crazy board break. Let's further make our own Dynamundo. Now, Dynamundo, are you going to hit the Imperm? Yes, we are. Imperm back into the deck. 2200. The reborn effect is only during the opponent's turn. Incredible plays. We have the ability to Murakumo discard and wipe their field. We're going to add the Aramasa, reborn our Murakumo, which will be activating to non-target wipe the entire opposing field. Futsu is going to be further searching our deck. Dynamundo is going to chain, reborn the Murakumo, which it just dies immediately. It's not going to trigger, does nothing, just dies. And Futsu is going to come to me as we grab the prayers. Let's wipe it. Now we can still prayers reborn it back whenever we want to. Add the Habakiri. So I'm still we got our double disruption still. We can force them to discard and wipe their field. That's what these 2 fingers are. Dark can steal a properly summoned Murakumo. Let's just wipe it right now. Get that trash out of here. But Dark, if destroyed, will be able to search the deck for a Dark monster with 1500 or less defense. Grabbing a Crowley. Crowley, when added, triggers the special summon. Now, we still have the discard effect, but we didn't force them to discard on the activation of the Crowley. Mirror to reborn from the grave or hand. We're going to summon the Habakiri from the hand, tributing off the Murakumo to trigger Engrave to reborn, and then non-target wipe away the Crowley. I believe this is it. Well, we saw prayers. We actually have triple disruption. We could prayers. What? Oh. 3 disruption is now 0. With triple tactics talent, we wiped away triple disruption. With the single Ash Blossom, we wiped away triple disruption. The triple disruption was wipe the field, force them to discard, and pop a card on the field, all gone to a single Ash. Nuts. Damn. Wow, you know, Ash doubled up as a board breaker there, wiping away triple disrupt. I believe in you, Hungry Burger. I completely messed up who was going first. Whoops. Nikki Boy is going first. So the benefit of the imperm is if you get Fool Lost, and this is not a Crimson Tier, we can now set it for further. So it's good going first and second against a Fool Lost or Maxi. Aramasa searching for the Habakiri. Habakiri is going to attempt to summon for the deck, and then you're going to Fua hit them. So this not being a Fiendsmith card will increase our chance of winning the duel against a Fua or Maxi. And that's the case where if we lost to Droll, you would change Imperm to a Fiendsmith card. You lose to Fua, you then go back to it being an Impermanence. Habakiri is here. Trigger the Kusanagi to add back the Ritual Serpent Reborn. They're not going to be drawing if the summons are from the hand or graveyard here. Speed this up. Diviner is ready. We are committing to the Duo Drive. Draw an additional card. Duo Drive detaching. We have Nouvelles, Mitsurugi, and Fiendsmith being played. Cross is ready, but it's not able to negate. We're going to be tributing for the Murakumo from the deck. They're going to have 8 cards when they start their turn. Further reborning from Engrave the Habakiri as we now go into a Photon Lord. 9 cards. Would you like to add a Maxi? Bro, his cross is no good until he special summons the X-Ryzeal or the Ice Ryzeal, then makes a detonator. That's going to be at least, if you Maxi now, you're possibly drawing 1, 2, 3 more cards. Well, now it'll be 2 cards. Now it'll just be 1 card. Okay. I mean, like, what were you afraid of? That he was going to end his turn? I mean, okay, the Photon Lord would negate, to be fair, so we do have to account for that. It's a free negate, and then we wouldn't have another card to activate, so for sure, don't do that. Now, what do we have here? We have the ability to pop 3, negate a monster, wipe the field, force them to discard, imperm negate a monster, draw and lockbird, disallow them from further adding, 8 disruptions, but we're going to have 10 cards in hand. And because they're going to special summon on their own turn, Maxi them. They may special summon for prayers. They may special summon the Murakumi in addition, possibly. You know, we'll probably just get 1 draw off of the Maxi. And we could just wait because it's not a Mulcharmy where you'd have to activate it preemptively while your field's open. Diviner is getting negated from sending an extra deck monster to the graveyard. Entis possibly was being prevented here from popping a card in the field. We have double Nouvelle search. We have the Ritual Spell and a Ritual Monster. Droll and Lockbird. We're going to chain to the Droll activation to further disallow us from adding from the deck as we chain add before that fully resolves. Burn for 800 to summon the Aramasa, and our field's going to get wiped here. Let's reborn the Murakumo. Maxi's no good because we're under Droll. Non-target wipe the entire opposing field. They can force us to discard, but who cares? We have so many cards in our hand. Let's add back the Murakumo, and let's go into the Nouvelle. Is this Nouvelle good? Woo, what's it doing? Target an attack position monster, tribute it, and if you do special summon a level 6 Nouvelle from the deck. Now, the other Nouvelles required you to tribute the Nouvelle and the opposing monster on resolution. This is not requiring that. So the detonator stops the other Nouvelle from tributing it, but this will not be stopped by getting popped. Tributes, if you do, yup, so on the resolution, we can use cross though. Cross on the resolution, yep, crossed it. Negate, as we follow up with the Mirror Mate, forcing us to discard on the resolution of the effect of Murakumo. Discard. Lurie, if discarded, thank you, it now reborns. Let's reborn the Murakumo. Discard Lurie's insane. Lurie, come here. Now, the Lurie effect is mandatory, so it cannot chain link block the Murakumo. We are going to be attempting to wipe out their field. He's going to detach the detonator to protect. It protects all of the Xyzes, as we are now going to be negating the aggregator. with the Luri summoned for free. We already used up our normal summon. That Murakumo effect straight up helped us immensely as we summon our Crimson Tier from the deck. We're still waiting with the impermanence for a sequence. Sequence will be the play. Now, beyond that, that's all we have. We just have Imperm. Detonator's done, Cross is done, Photon Lord's done, Full Loss is not activatable. Imperm onto the sequence, negate. And are we done from here? Is there any other play we could do? Would a Dynamundo be a good play? I guess we're gonna go to battle phase first, then Dynamundo. Let's freaking go! Dynamundo on summon, return back in grave our Habakiri, getting rid of the Raziel Cross. Now back to you. So what do we have here? We can wipe their field whenever we want. The Detonator's not going to be able to protect from the wipe because it has no Xyz materials. We also have Max C or Droll and Lockbird. Nibiru off the top of the deck. To battle we go, forcing out the activation of the Dynamundo. No Call by the Grave, wipe the field, and we also force them to discard, which the Fool Loss will be discarded. Ice, we could very simply Max C. You could chain the Murakumo, then Max C if you want. Let's get drawing. From the deck, Star Raziel to set up the Cross right away, and we're now going to force them to discard a Fool Loss. And with that, we are just hard coping on any good hand trap we could draw into. Us being a 60-card deck, I would say we're much less likely to be drawing into a hand trap. Turn 2, draw, Lacrima Crimson Tier, reborn the sequence here. We don't have a Fiendsmith in Paradise play, as we now make a Duo Drive. Duo Drive, drawing into a non-hand trap, attach from Engrave. We're going to detach 2, searching for a Node and an X-Raziel. We're going to be sending a Gallant Grand Knight to summon the X-Raziel to search for a sword, special summon the sword, searching for an ice. Dugaris. Dugaris is activating to reborn a monster from Engrave. The Saji's now here searching our deck. Come forth into a Prayers. Prayers will be activated to tribute off the Saji, searching for the Habakiri, and pay 800 to reborn the Murakumo. Murakumo on summon, wipe away the entire opposing field, 7,200 life. It is main phase 2 though. We gave up our battle phase to force out the early Dynamundo. So we're guaranteeing them another turn where they have triple tactics talent, Call by the Grave activatable. Call by the Grave, of course everyone's already playing it, but it's even now better, being able to finger a Murakumo and Grave. Now with our 13 card hand, we are flaming on as we have the ability to negate a monster. We could pop, negate with Aggregator, force them to discard, also wipe away the entire opposing field if we're able to tribute it off with Nibiru, then it comes back, and then we have the Nibiru, we also have the Ash Blossom. 9 forms of disruption with our 13 card hand. Let's go. Engraver, return the Requiem back. Come forth. We did not cross that effect of trying to reborn. We're going to Detonator, wipe away the Engraver to stop it from being able to send a card from the field to the graveyard. Now down to 8 forms of disruption. Triple Tactics talent is going to attempt to take control. We're going to chain the Murakumo. Murakumo, forcing them to discard the Droll, as we're going to steal the Detonator. By stealing the Detonator, we now lose 3 disruptions. We're now down to 4. We're going to negate the Saji. We're now down to 3. With 3 disruptions left, we have at least lost the battle phase here. Main phase 2 it up into a Little Knight. Little Knight on summon is going to banish away the Murakumo. We have the Aggregator, which unfortunately... The Aggregator on our own Detonator that we took control of because we used it to make a Little Knight is on the higher chain link because it's the non-turn player optional effect to negate the Little Knight. We don't want to chain Little Knight to dodge it because it will then banish the opposing Murakumo, which we're trying to banish it permanently. What the hell just happened? Discard 2. Now, what do we have here? Is the Purification actually going to be doing anything? We have to tribute a level 5 or higher reptile to even negate. We have no way to get a level 5 or higher reptile on the field. We're spent. We're done. It's over. Little Knight's done. We just have Call by the Grave. We don't have a way to get the Purification in Graveyard, which would be great to reborn a properly summoned Murakumo. Let's Ice Raziel, the Ice and Grave. We could have used Cross to return Ice before activating the Ice. Did we returned 2 others instead? I mean, we didn't think of that, right? We returned the Detonator and Sword Raziel instead, not thinking that he would finger our Ice and Grave. Dark will now summon a properly summoned or any reptile from the graveyard, just Dark that is. We're gonna Kusanagi, add back the prayers in grave. Let's further go into our Little Knight. Little Knight, banish away the Purification or the Engraver here. No Engraver follow-up. We are going to, within the end phase, tribute off the Habakiri, searching for another, to then reborn engrave our Murakumo. Now we could banish, we could force them to discard, we could wipe away the opposing field, we could Droll, we could Ash, we could Nibiru. 6 disruptions, we set a Nouvelle. What is going on here? We're completely out of gas. Why did we run out of gas? We ran out of plays. We had a ton of cards in hand, we just couldn't make any plays with it. We got pre-preparation. The Thrust could set a Purification for the deck, which could be quite interesting unless we're playing a Black Oak Laughs or a Dimensional Barrier. As we maxi in response to the Habakiri attempting to summon from the deck, which of course it will go through. What do we do under a maxi? Now, Purification requires a level 5 or higher reptile to even be able to negate. We are committing to that May. At least we're summoning a Murakumo from the deck. Murakumo plus the Thrust and the prayers. Let's thrust the Purification. And that's going to give us a decent amount of disruptions under the maxi. We're not done here. Crimson Tear sent for the deck engraver. Now we're done. Negate anything. Force them to discard. Wipe away their field. Triple disruption plus a maxi. And it's a 7-card hand. Now, how are we going to wipe their field if they have 2 freaking fingers? So Purification could trigger it once, you try to finger, then you prayers to reborn it, then you finger it again. We're gonna preempt our finger. That's how. You force them to finger something else. Purification is not a counter trap. We could chain to this. And we are. We're gonna chain finger the maxi. If it were a counter trap, they couldn't chain the freaking the Call by the Grave. That is wild. And you would think that this card should be a counter trap. Negate the finger, but then the other finger goes through, negating the maxi. We're gonna trigger the Murakumo. There's no finger for that to stop it. Reborn back. Could still force them to discard a card. Habakiri, we're gonna force them to discard. Now the Serpent. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, special summon. So not once, but twice, and against both different players. Your discard allowed me to reborn a Luri, and now your discard's allowing me to reborn my Night Sword Serpent being sent to the grave by card effect. Thank you. Both players plus wanting a body onto the field because of Murakumo's effect. Come forth Serpent and Saji. Now, we still have the ability to wipe their field with the prayers. We will prayers tribute, then reborn it through the effect of prayers. We already used the tribute effect. Now, when is the most opportune moment to attempt to wipe their field? Let's find out. We could allow them to Murakumo our field and not respond. It would be fine. And then we could wait whenever we want with the prayers to reborn the Murakumo. So we're not in a panic situation here. We're not forced to use prayers. Just wait. Habakiri, search, Murakumo, wipe our field. What are we doing? Why? Why are we doing this? You now can't wipe their fields. You could have, but you can't. You absolutely cannot now. That option is gone. You can't on a separate chain link now trigger this because you already did. This was required to reborn it whenever you want. Now, Decayed, he needs to tribute a reptile. No, he doesn't. Just activate, take 800, reborn it literally whenever you want to wipe their fields. That's now gone. And there's no way we're paying for just a search, I guess. I guess we're searching, sure. So we traded Fulos for a Futsu. This is gone, it does nothing, does not trigger. It would have if we just waited, but that's okay. Let's keep on going. We got nothing left now. Yeah, I think we're realizing, like, we could have wiped them after this if we wanted to. Could have just waited, because it's only wiping away the monsters. Does everyone understand what I'm trying to convey here? I'm not trying to harp on the player, I just want it to be understood how the things are working here. But carry some for the deck, the Saji. Saji grabbed the ritual. So yes, I am saying to not impulse the Habakiri. I think impulse in the ritual is the play. Negate. What? Hold up. We not negating. What the? Okay. All right. Kusanagi is going to add back the ritual to activate again. I mean, you stop it from being activated twice with one impulse. We also got to make use of the serpent, which was a brick in our hand. No, I mean, like the first time would have stopped the second one. You would have stopped both with one. Now you're stopping just the second one. Now, this is the first day for many ever seeing Mitsurugi, but you know, you tell me if you disagree with me. I'm always open for any other opinion on why you are incorrectly saying to not use it on the first one. I'll just say you're wrong, but I'm open to you saying it anyway. Searching for a mirror. Reborn the Habakiri. Come forth into the Granite. Granite, search for, oh my Jesus, normal summon Fossil Dyna. Now to deal with Fossil Dyna, you normally just attack over it, but you can't because Habakiri is going to reduce you by 800 attack. So tell me what monster you're normal summoning that's 2,000 freaking attack. That's not a Megalo freaking Smasher. What, you Goblin attack force? Huh? No. You can't special summon. And we can negate anything. What the hell? And we could reborn the Murakumo. Oh my jeez, we got the imperm, negate the impermanence. Now we still have the mirror. The mirror will additionally negate the Fossil Dyna. As we're going to be triggering the Habakiri to reborn back, mirror is going to be returning back into the deck. We still have the Murakumo, which will force them to discard and wipe the opposing field. Now, we're not able to special summon because our own Fossil Dyna. It does stop our own plays. And just like that, you dealt with the Fossil Dyna, you now turned on my Murakumo. So whenever I want, it's coming out. Well, you have a finger. Oh my gosh. Doggy, you look like you're gonna lose after setting up a freaking Fossil Dyna, a Purification, and Murakumo Reborn. How did you lose this? Freaking Imperm and Mirror. We had a negate for the Imperm. We had protection from them attacking over it. I could not believe Alpha did it. Or at least I think he did. How should he lose this? There's no way. With the finger, we got this. Dynamundo, finger. Even if we had a prayers, which we don't, you then finger it again. Very well done. Let's just speed this up. Well played from Alpha, or well drawn, I should say. Yeah, just draw good cards. Good job. Pada E, come to me. One of the great benefits of pure Mitsurugi is being able to play Pada E and Impulse. Let's Full Loss in response. Now we could self-droll ourselves if we find it to be a good idea. And this is exactly why you chain your Full Loss and Max Seed to an effect that draws, because they could draw into an Ash or a Called By to stop it. Thus, you don't wait. Bakiri attempting to summon for the deck. This is a potential draw 2. Unless we Ash, of course we have it. Negate the Max Seed. Now they still draw 1 from the Full Loss, which is fine. And the Mirror can allow you to summon a monster from the hand or graveyard. As we have the Saji. So with the Ritual, what you'll do is you'll be summoning the Habakiri. You could use the Murakumo from the deck and then reborn the Murakumo with the Mirror, all to play around Fua. They're going to get 0 draws, and you'll be able to double special summon. Now, it may not be doing that, but that's okay. But that would be an option if you wanted to do that. We're going to use the Aramasa to search, which we're still going to be able to potentially do the same play I'm talking about. We're going to do it with Futso. Kusanagi, add back the Ritual. And let's mirror Ritual, summon from the deck. Give them another draw, sure. If we want to get all 3 of the big Rituals on the field here. So 1 more draw for you, as we're now going to mirror. Now, we're going to be able to potentially be special summoning twice here. We have not triggered the effect of Habakiri, so we special summoned into another special summon and a search, and 0 draws off of that play. That is why the Mirror is really good. If you're playing pre-prep, I think it's a good response to help play around Full Loss, if Full Loss is one of your issues. Now, with this field, what do we have exactly? Droll to disallow them from adding, Impulse to negate a special summon, Magatama to destroy a card, we have the Finger, we could force them to discard, we could non-target wipe away the entire opposing field, 6 forms of disruption, and with 6 disruption, they have 6 cards in hand. 6 versus 6. Now, potentially, the Druiswarm could banish the Murakumo before it reborns, before it is able to wipe away the opposing field. normal the Chessie with the set MTP to dodge a targeting negate. We can MTP in response. We're going to Drone Lockbird on the resolution of adding. As we have the banished Chessie reborning back onto the field. So we have the Futsu, every special summon triggering to reborn from the grave. Add back the Ritual. If any of our other cards would be destroyed by battle card effect, the effect of the Kusanagi is going to be able to tribute itself to protect. We're going to be using the effect of Magatama, protecting our Impulse. Impulse would have been negated. Now, the Jerusalem is going to be banishing the Saji. We didn't care to use Impulse, as the Futsu just reborns the Habakiri back onto the field. Futsu again, just infinitely activating, continually building up that impossible field to out. Little Knight on summon, attempting to banish away the Murakumo. We're going to use the prayers to tribute off the Murakumo. And this is where you can Bestial. Now, you think Ash is pretty good here, but the Murakumo will just be able to trigger outside of the Ash negating the prayers, but we're going to finger the Ash anyway. And just like that, 6 disruptions versus a 6-card hand, we are still able to win it. 1-1. Start this off with an Allure of Darkness. Both Mad Lads are on Droll. Let's Droll them. And under their full play being under Droll, they're able to banish from the grave, non-target banish once, non-target banish a second time, return up to 3 cards on the field or graveyard back to the hand, which if we have a hand trap, we could reuse it. We don't. We then have negate anything. We have Ash. We have Droll. We have about 7 disruptions here. Good luck. And now, if you are a mouse player, you got to be very careful with your Droll. Your Droll will turn off your own MTP from non-target banishing. Oh, there is the Kaiju. We are negating and banishing the Kaiju from adding back to the hand. No way. We were going to Kaiju their fields. Well, 1 monster that is. We have the Ritual, which is going to be tributing from the deck a Kusanagi and Asaji for a search and add from the graveyard. Wait, couldn't Kusanagi target the Kaiju and add it to the hand? We do want to recycle the Ritual instead. So we did have a way, if we wanted to still be able to Kaiju them. We got the Magatama. 6 disruptions left. Droll. So by Drolling, we lose Droll because we used it, but it's under the lingering effect. We're also Ashing, but we also lose the MTP. So we're at triple disruption left. We are able to banish in the graveyard, return a monster back from either field or graveyard. We're going to be returning back our Droll and Ash Blossom on this attack and just allow it to die. We're able to still use the Cryptor to non-target banish, and we can banish cards in their graveyard. That's it. Our double disruption left. Spin back the opposing Allied Kotaku Gnister. We now have the Typhon. Typhon will disallow the Cryptor from even being activatable, as we're going to end phase. White Binder. Now, the Cryptor will be rebornable. It's still going to activate to summon, but once it hits the field, it's going to be too big to even activate. So we're not going to get that end phase banish. Let's trigger all these effects. MTP is not able to banish here. We did lose that disruption, but we'll just use it next turn. So not activatable here, not activatable here. You could just start off the turn, MTP, get rid of the Typhon, and then the Cryptor will be activatable. Non-target, we don't choose until resolution. Not even getting rid of the Typhon. And we're still scooping it up. Maliss, with its immense turn 1 play through Droll and Lockbird, is the main reason why it was able to win this duel. Droll, now Doggy's playing Droll instead of what? Playing Droll instead of Lancia. By taking Lancia out for a card that Mouse plays very easily through is why we are winning with Maliss. That is their chance. Abakiri summoned the Saji from the deck. Tribute to search our deck. Wow. Beautifully done. This will be quick. Let's hop into game 2. Ice, Ryzeal, Imperm, Negate, and speaking of bricking with the Serpent, we have it in our opening hand. Now, we have the ability to pop, 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 negate, negates, discard, wipe the field, finger, and Nibiru. 9 disruptions versus a 5-card hand. Let's go. Summon the Saji, triggering a search, call by the grave, finger the Saji. Now we can Prayers Reborn it to dodge the finger. Seemingly that's exactly what we're doing here. Murakumo forcing them to discard. Let's go. As we are still able to use the cross to negate the Saji if you badly want it. I mean, you're telling me that you are dodging the finger because you need the search, so I'm going to negate. That makes sense. We did negate. And with 6 disruptions left, we are out of here. Okay. Quick duels. Maxi it up. You know, maybe within like 3 months, we could have Yummy, Vanquish Soul, Canine, some Draco Tail to mix things up, so it's not gonna all be Mitsurugi. Mitsurugi will, I guess I should say it's, for the next 6 months, it's not all Mitsurugi, but for the next 6 months, at least Mitsurugi will be very good. Over the next 2 months, it will probably be all Mitsurugi, if Konami's cool and releases some good stuff soon. Let's make Ryzeal detonate. Holy moly, mate. We are under the effect of Maxi and Full Loss. So I'm excited to tell you the amount of disruptions we have versus the cards in their hand. And not everyone has dropped Lancia. Kawaki is ready with it. Now, with a 9-card hand, was it worth it to, in response to 9 cards in the hand, we have 3 pop and or one of them being a negate a monster, could force them to discard 1 card from their 9-card freaking hand, and we could wipe away the entire opposing field of monsters. 5 disruptions for 9 cards in hand. Let's go. Maxi, maybe we'll draw into some hand traps. And nope, doesn't matter. Cross out designate, negate the Maxi. You can't say that this is unfair. If you give the opponent 9 cards in the hand, they're gonna have something to stop the Maxi. As we summon the Kusanagi, we are going in, that's still our 5 disruption. So we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as we are now. The cross could not be chain link blocked. If we had an Apollo Yosei, we would not be able to negate. So this is it. We're gonna get wiped out. The detonator will lose a disruption. We're only gonna lose 1 disruption here. So from 5, we go to 4. Not a big deal. We are gonna detach down to 4 disruption. We're going to force them to discard a card. I'm gonna force you to discard a card. If you're gonna make me discard a card, you discard a card. We're going to discard, goodbye, and then we're gonna wipe the field on the lower chain link. The detonator will detach, and then we're gonna drop down to how many disruptions we have left? We have 2. We have board wipe and destroy. Okay, we're actually now at just 1. Murakumo, Reborn, wipe the field. This is it, our final form of disruption. Reborn back, and get wiping. Search our deck for a sword. Sword has not been activated this turn yet. It's still special summonable, everything. After the board wipe, we're at 0 disruption. And we do have a follow-up through the prayers. We can also draw 1 with the cross. Let's make our duo drive. Duo drive is going to attach from engrave, detach 2, search our deck for a node and a sword. Let's special summon the node, send from the hand to Reborn back onto the field. As we further go into the Granite, Granite's going to be detaching for our Nibiru. After that, we're going to special summon Star. Star set up the cross. Cross is going to draw a card. As we randomly come to us, Call by the Grave, really good against Mitsurugi, obviously. Detonator is now here. Attach from engrave, battle it up, say goodbye to the Murakumo. Not big enough to take out the opposing detonator, but it's doing nothing. And from here, we have the ability to negate a monster, pop, and pop. As we protect it from a pop, we're now going to negate. We still have a negate and a pop and a Call by the Grave, and a Nibiru. 4 forms of disruption, making sure to finger the Murakumo before it gets reborn with the prayers. Not today. Finger it, and we still got Pop, Negate, and Nibiru. Not enough. 2-1 victory. Good job, Kawaki. Let's go. Begin. Now, in the top 4, is Renove playing Ryzeal? I see FSMit cards. I see Ryzeal. We have Ryzeal, FSMit, Mitsurugi versus Ryzeal, Mitsurugi, no FSMit, and the dreaded card of Full Loss Resolving. What's our best play? We're going to Bonfire, add from the deck our X Ryzeal. We're going to send the Aggregator to summon the X Ryzeal to search for our Sword. Sword special summon, searching for an X Ryzeal. Normal the Full Loss to go into a Duo Drive. That's draw 1 for them. Duo Drive is going to be detached and search for the Cross. Why play Sanct? Instead of searching for the Tract and then you get Droll Knockbird and then you lose, you instead search for this so you can play through a Droll. We have the Cross, let's Reborn, as we now go into the Grand Knight. Another draw for you, so I could search for a Nibiru. Nibiru, we're going to detach the Star as we give them a 3rd draw. Draw 3, so that we could have a Ryzeal Detonator. With the Aggregator attached, Cross will be drawing a card, hopefully into another hand trap. Perfect. Damn. You draw 3. I end the turn with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 disruptions. Can you play through 8? 8 with your 8-card hand. So it's a disrupt per card. 1 for 1, negate a card. Negate the preparation from searching for 2 cards. From here, we're going to FSMit Sanct, summon a token onto the field. As we now go into the FSMit Requiem, which the Cross can negate the effect of summoning from the deck. No Cross negate, we go into a Crimson Tier Mate, send an Engraver. As we Habakiri, summon the Saji, tribute off the Crimson Tier. Saji now gets negated by the Impermanence here because we didn't tribute the Saji. Now we're going to chain the Prayer to dodge the Impermanence. We could still use the Cross to negate the Saji if we want to. Are we? We're going to be reborning the Saji. Imperm, no negate. Cross negate the Saji. No ritual to your hand. 5 disruption. X Ryzeal and the Aggregator. Cross negate Aggregator is generally what you need the Cross for. We're going to Detonator, detach, and we're going to Imperm, negate. And with that, we're going to be losing out on our final pop and our Aggregator negate, and then we just have Nibiru. That's it. Last disruption. From 8 disruptions. So with 8 disruptions, we're now down to 1, and we still have 5 cards in our hand, when it was 8 cards versus 8 disruptions. Let's Reborn back our Engraver. And we're going to have to find the most opportune time to Nibiru. Detonator. Oh, okay, correction. We'd still have 2 disruptions because the Aggregator could still be detached to then negate a card in the field. Negate the Engraver. It's a low impact negate, but still a negate. Negate the Engraver, stopping it from sending. Our Masa searching for a Futsu. Let's further Xyz into the Duo Drive. This detaches as card effect, not cost. You can, I'm not saying you should here, but if you want to, you chain Nibiru, they don't search. That's exactly what we're doing. Wipe the field, no search. And now we're at 0 disruption. And from here, we already used the effect of Habakiri. We set the prayers and pass. Now, you need a properly summoned Murakumo to even get it out on the field. If we look in the grave, there's nothing properly summoned. You cannot tribute Murakumo from the hand to then reborn it through its own effect or even the prayers. So the prayers without a properly summoned Murakumo on the field or in grave, we have no disruption is what I'm trying to say. Nothing. Now, do we have Crimson Tier plus the Requiem? No, we have nothing. 0 disruptions. Cross is going to return 2. So a very well-timed Nibiru, ending them on nothing but a huge token. Summon the Saji. Saji searching for the prayers. Let's Ritual, tribute from the deck using Serpent. If you're wondering if Serpent's good, I enjoy it, and so does Nikki Boy. Nikki Boy Reborn. Kusanagi's to add back the Ritual from Engrave. Further go into our Duo Drive, attach from Engrave. Thus, this would be protected from the opposing player's Nibiru if they wanted to activate it on the resolution. Let's also make a Murakumo. Murakumo is going to be wiping away that token. Say goodbye. Reborn back. As we're going to detach, search our deck. We still have the protection of Cross, but we know they have nothing as we're going to be attacking. Now, they can still reborn, but it's not going to be able to turn into a form of disruption. It can block an attack. Force them to discard. Prayers will be searching for the Kusanagi. Kusanagi will block the attack, or Saji. Saji, block it. Habakiri, search for a follow-up. So, while we had 0, we had a good way to prevent lethal damage and set up a follow-up play. Grabbing the mirror and the Magatama. Say goodbye to you. As, nope, you are not surviving. Within the battle phase, I'm going to tribute the monster that was properly summoned to also summon another monster to also trigger the Murakamo to reborn, and we still have an additional at least 4,000 plus more damage. Come to me. Well, actually, this can't attack directly. That'd be cheating. The Murakumo can. This can attack. Not this. Lethal damage. 1-0. Uelos in response to the Habakiri summoned from the deck. How do we play through a Fuelos? Mind you, Nicky Boy played through a Fuelos and was able to win the duel. 8 disruptions versus 8 cards in hand is what he decided to do. Seven cards versus how many disruption? We could force them to discard, we could wipe the field, we could Masquerina into double Little Knight. It's not quite 8 disruptions that Nicky Boy had, it's 4 disruptions versus 7 cards in hand. Okay. Imperm the Masquerina, force them to discard, so now, how many disruptions do you think we have now? We now have 1, just 1. 1 versus 5 cards. Let's summon the Star Ryzeal, set up the cross, and the Call of the Grave can actually counter that 1 disruption. The Light Dragon Ignister is going to destroy a monster the opponent controls. He does not care. He's going to Prayers attempt to reborn it back, but then that's when we're going to finger it. As we're going to add, now it's a non-target reborn, we'll reborn something else, but it will not be a form of disruption. Duo Drive, it's like, should I even have my finger up? The Call of the Grave stops it. We're at 0 disruption, okay? We have nothing. We're gonna grab a Node and an Ice. We already committed to the normal summon. We're gonna special summon a Saji. Saji, when tributed, searching for the Mitsurugi Ritual. Let's Ritual tribute from the deck, the Kusanagi and the Arasama. Arasama and Kusanagi, we're gonna add a Mitsurugi monster and the Ritual from Engrave. Add the Habakiri, since we wanna summon the Murakumo from the deck. Make sure to not accidentally add the Murakumo from the deck to the hand when you're doing this play. Add the Prayers, reborn the Habakiri. Let's get to it. Let's do it. Why is he not trying? Isn't that Prayers in the back row? That's Prayers, right? That's not Ritual. He's not even trying. Does the Light Dragon have the protection? If monsters you control would be destroyed by Murakumo, detach material and you're not destroyed. What? So this completely stops Murakumo. You don't even need Call of the Grave. This just stops it. Wow. Now he has to play through 4 hand traps. Imperm, Nibiru, Ash, Maxi. We could finger the Maxi. Now, generally, we have Ash to negate the Maxi. Generally, I would offer up my Ash to finger instead of my Maxi. Protect your Maxi, but instead we're gonna go the other way around. Maxi first. Back of Ignister, Imperm, negate. And from their mate, they're not able to bridge their way into the Maliss engine. You're supposed to be searching for a Maliss, discarding it, and then banishing it with the Little Knight, a Lizard, or reborn it with the Splash Mage. Let's Little Knight, banish away the impermanence. Now back to you. We have no play. Still no play. Maxi, oh no, I'm just gonna end my turn now. You got me. Let's set the Call by the Grave. Now back to you. Triple Tactics talent, dead. It's a non-engine battle. Endlessly being poked away with Little Knight. Pirelli, dead, dead, dead. Cross out, designate. All the non-engine is stacked on top of our decks here. In the top freaking 4, that is. I have the wrong graphics, sorry. Finally, we have something. Bonfire into the X-Ryzeal. X-Ryzeal is going to send the aggregator. We're going to be chain link blocking the X-Ryzeal from a potential Ash Blossom. Little Knight is going to chain banish away the X-Ryzeal, and that's completely fine. We get to search for a fire. Our fire of choice is going to be our Sword Ryzeal, which unfortunately has to be normal summoned. Normal it up for the ice, which we want to normal summon, but we now can't. We're going to send the Parelia to go into King of the Feral Imps. With the Imps, we're going to detach the ice, and we now have the Habakiri. Now, normally, what do you do here? Well, it would still be a good idea to potentially tribute off the Feral Imps, so you still have a level 4 in the field. But if you want to dodge an impermanence, you tribute the Saji. But then your Saji gets fingered. What are we going to do? Not get fingered. There we go. Well done. Plan to imperm, play around the called by as we now activate the ritual. We're going to send the Serpent and the Kusanagi. Kusanagi, we might want to finger the Kusanagi, potentially, if we don't want them to add back the ritual. And that is not what we're going to finger. We're going to finger the Serpent instead and then go, wait, we still lose. Game 2. All right, let's go. We're going to forego the Chessie to normal summon our White Rabbit instead. Now, with the Bestial, it's full combo. Great combo. The best combo. Link Decoder, Banish. This plays around Nibiru, plays around Ash Blossom, plays around everything. We're going to have the Apollo USA plus follow-up. We have Banish, we have Banish, we have Negate a monster effect, we have Negate anything, we can banish from the graveyard. We also have an Impermanence, we have a Droll, we have a Druid Swarm, we have about 9 disruptions. Droll, just like, what? You scoop to a Droll, that's it. Damn. Play Droll. Prayers on the draw phase to play around Droll. No Droll. Let's now Ritual. Tribute off for the Habakiri. Habakiri is going to be alongside the Serpent Reborning, the Kusanagi, returning back the Ritual here. Unfortunately, we were not able to draw a Saji search for Ritual. They hard opened the Ritual. We're going to tribute off the Habakiri for the Murakumo, so now they're going to have to discard an additional card to even resolve the Droll. Let's grab the prayers. We can now hit them with Droll. Droll them. And force them to discard. We get rid of the extra White Rabbit, sure, why not? And from there, what could we do under the effect of Droll? No more adding. We have a Monster Negate, Special Summon X, Special Summon Sword. We're still gonna have a lot of disruption. Oh my Jesus. For a card that's supposed to keep them in check, they're still ending on. In addition to the max frequency, they have the ability to Murakumo, wipe the field. Now, this will detach only after we negate a monster effect, right? Detach to negate. So we negate a monster, we force them in a discard with the Murakumo, we wipe their field, we pop a card, pop a card, pop a card, pop a card, negate a card. That is 8 disruptions after getting drolled and Maxi. Alpha, good freaking luck. Hit him with the max. Alpha, you got to take it. You got to go all the way. There's no holding back. You lose next turn no matter what. We're going to be banishing the White Rabbit, and this 8 disruption may go bigger if we draw into some hand. Oh my God, we drew into Ash. Are you freaking kidding me? Now we're at 9 disruption. Let's further link this up into a link decoder. Can still draw into more, right? Dormouse is going to be met with the detonator, wiping away the link decoder. We're now down to 8 disruption, which what we were at originally. Dormouse banishing, we can negate with the Photon Lord. That's exactly what we're doing. Make sure to detach the Murakumo, very important. Now down to 7 disruption. Come on, Alpha, you got this. He doesn't have this. Lingaribo to stop the back row card that's not a trap. We have Backup Ignister, searching our deck. No, you're not. Going to Ash that. Down to 6 disruptions left. Alpha is not out of gas yet. Now he is, because we're going to wipe the field. Okay. 2-1 victory. Well done. Thank you to both players. Let's now hop into the grand finale. Artifact Lancia used against Maliss, is that going to cost us in this duel, or we're going to have the niche usage of maybe stopping a called by, right? If they end up drawing into a called by and you're able to stop with Lancia, that could be a huge play. Hajime. Starting off with a normal summon, Sword Ryzeal, that is really bad. But it's good, but it shows that you are desperate. It shows that you don't have a Habakiri, shows you don't have an X Ryzeal, you know they don't have an Ice, you know they don't have a 7 Tachyon, no pre-prep. This is super cope. But we could end up on something pretty good still, as of course it is great. Just taking up your normal summon, thus you're not normal summoning an Ice. Well, you know, big problem. We fingered ourselves. I hate when that happens. We fingered their Ash, which fingered our Ash, thus we could not stop the opposing Max C. And apparently, we don't have a good play with Droll, where we could just Droll ourselves and at least end up on something. Instead, we're gonna use the Droll on them, and here's another bad thing. We still are fingered. Our self-fingered Called by the Grave play is going to affect us on the next turn where we cannot use it. We just have Droll. That's it. Against a draw phase Prayers, they are not going to be hit by the Droll here. And they're searching for 2 different cards, and we still can't Droll them. Nuts. Grab the Mitsurugi Ritual. Further grab from the deck a Mitsurugi Aramasa. 1 Droll is all we have as we Aramasa searching for the Murakumo. Finally, we can hit them with the Droll. With the Droll now in effect, we have a Duo Drive that can't search. Now we're going to detach off the Duo Drive. As we can't search for a cross, we could still set the cross in the deck with a Star Ryzeal. And we are now able to negate anything we need to as we Ritual Summon out the Murakumo. 7,800 damage, mate. Almost lethal damage. Let's add from the grave and wipe away the Sword Ryzeal. Well, the Serpent is game. 500 for game. There's nothing that was summoned here through prayers. And a very easy lethal damage. Same thing I've been saying all day today, which isn't profound nor deep or really smart. Just max C them and you win. Okay. Oh my goodness, he's got not just max C, he's also got a Fool Loss, but he has no play. If he were to activate this early, we pass, there's a chance they draw into nothing. What's it gonna be? Does not activate. Now we're in the standby. Nope, he is waiting for an actual commitment of a special summon to draw into a play. This doesn't activate from the hand. It activates once it hits the field, so it's an inherent special summon. We have the Imperm, negate. Now, we are going to normal the Pirellia and not activate the Maxi nor the Fua. We are fully waiting. Please activate an actual effect that will special summon. And not only can we Fua, but we could also Max C for that guaranteed draw 2. Now, I know you may be thinking, oh, we got to draw on even more cards. They could have just passed. They did not have to make the Feral Imps, especially under a Fua and a Max C, and we have no plays. So generally, that is how you want to use your Max C or Fua. When you have to look at your hand and see, I have no plays, wait for an actual effect that commits to a special summon. And look at that. We drew into now having a play. We're good. We're great. Let's go, mate. We got the prayers off the top of the deck, which, you know, if they were to have just passed their turn, we had the prayers. As we now go into the Habakiri, we also drolled ourselves. Drolled Knockbird to turn off the Max C and the Fool Loss. How many forms of disruption can we set up? As the Serpent reborns, we're going to special summon the Node, send the Imps to reborn. We could still make a Detonator. Detonator is going to be at least 4 disruptions with 3 material and an aggregator. We have the Ritual, which we're now, Murakumo is going to be even more disruption. Well, it's actually not going to be able to reborn. It's just going to force them to discard. 5 disruption is our play. 5 disrupt is the way, as we're going to force them to discard if they're going to use the impermanence. So let's drop on down to 4 disruption. And then, with the Detonator, how many disruption do you think we have here? We have 1. Just 1, and that is the aggregator. If the stupid Droll will leave my screen so I can click on it, we could detach this whenever, and then on a separate chain link, it will be able to negate a face-up card in the field. Serpent, trigger when I say you send this by card effect through the opposing player's Murakuma. While this is a brick, it's now plus a body on the field. Prayers is searching for the Habakiri here. We're going to be sending the aggregator to further negate a card in the field. The Murakumo has no effects that you're even negating. It's doing nothing. Sure. As we now grab a sword. We're going to special summon Saji. Saji is going to be searching for our Mitsurugi Ritual. Ritual, tribute from the deck for our Habakiri from the hand. Let's search for a Ritual monster, or a Mitsurugi monster that is. Kusanagi, add back the Mitsurugi Ritual. Resolve it all. Come to me. Very well done. Ritual it up, tribute off, on field Habakiri for our Murakumo. And this is the end of our field. And our one disruption will now be gone. Wipe the field, chain link block the effect. By the way, if we were to have a negate, if we had a Baron to floor, we wouldn't even be able to stop it, nor an Apollo fully wiped, special summon the sword, nothing left, 8,100 damage. Is anything summoned through the prayers? No, it is not. Prayers would disallow you from attacking directly as the Serpent swings in for the much needed final damage for game. 2-0 victory, back-to-back, Max C and or Fua loss to win. There you go. Master Duel still having duels determined solely from a Fua or a Max C. What the? 8 Ryzeal Mitsurugi? No way. Ain't no way. Was it really that bad? Oh, geez. That's a lot of Ryzeal. I mean, this is even just a lot of 13 Mitsurugi. The Nouvelles is Mitsurugi, by the way. So that's 14 Mitsurugi and 2 Maliss. Do you understand that? 14 Mitsurugi. Should we separate Nouvelles from Nouvelle Mitsurugi? So we'll start off with the Nouvelle deck list, all right? We're gonna have another Meta Weekly on Sunday, and surely more people will play Droll. I mean, what am I saying? Everyone's playing Droll already, all right? Yeah, and I think I do wanna check for how many people are playing Lancia. This is dirty. This is crazy. Nouvelle is here. Let me switch my camera real quick. Yep, Mitsurugi. And is there any way to play Maliss Mitsurugi? We got to do that, yeah? PGym, 60 card deck. I'm just going to bring up your profile here. Top 8. We got Fiendsmith with the Mitsurugi. I guess my camera's now blocking it. Oh, there you can see it. Yeah, get Nouvelle in. If you, I guess this is like shout out to Triff, right? Before playing Yummy Mitsurugi, we're going to play Nouvelle Fiendsmith Mitsurugi as an idea, and it seemingly worked out. Good job to you, my friend. Well done. This is something I maybe want to try out. It is definitely probably one of the most interesting decks of the event. Now, let's see what else we have here. The spicy decks. Let's get to the spicy Maliss. Ooh, shout out to the Maliss players for keeping it spicy, not conforming to the meta, not playing Mitsurugi like everyone else. Good on you. Gorilla with anything crazy. We have double, allure, not too crazy, of course. We got to make up for all the starters we lost. We're main deck and triple Droll. That is the way. Well done to you, Gorilla. And then up here, Alpha, triple Droll. This means that 100% of the non-Mitsurugi decks in the top 16 all play Droll at 3. All 2 of them. Well done. And they were both Maliss. Is non-Mitsurugi viable? Well, I guess Maliss is the only viable non-Mitsurugi way. And then let's look at all the pure Mitsurugis. These have to be a bit different. Actually, I want to look at the top decks page for them so we can get a better look at their engines and all that good stuff. So let's do tournaments, last 7 days, Meta Weekly. We'll click on Mitsurugi. So good job to Moi, top 16, Morisaki, top 16, Kang, top 16, Doggy Boy, top 8, and Hipster, top 8. We have Fiendsmith, Impulse Pure. We have Magistus with Mitsurugi, and then, bro, first turn freaking kill. Let's switch the camera back on over now. First turn kill, top 16. Dude, is this correct to even list this as Mitsurugi? Who cares? We're doing it anyway. Blaze Phoenix, Diabell, Snake Eye, Fiendsmith, Azamina, Mitsurugi, and it's still 45 cards somehow. Yep, still playing Droll, of course. Well done. He did pull off the first turn kill. He got screwed by randomly drawing into a Poplar when he had the first turn kill again, so he very likely would have been top 8 if it weren't for that random, very small percent mishap. And then we have the FSMith version of Mitsurugi if you wanted to play that. Triple tracked, no FSMith Sanct to further help play around a Droll. Well done. No Serpent, it looks like. And then we have top 16, a actual pure, not being mixed with anything crazy. We just have Impulse. We do not play Pot of Extravagance in this build. Sure, we have the benefit of the Kaiju, the Magatama, being able to play Impulse, main deck in the Purification. We consistently get out the Futsu. Good stuff. And then top 8, Doggy to Boy. Doggy to Boy, similar to the other build. We are playing Pot of E, pre-prep, of course, in both of their builds. Yup, yes. And we, again, Purification, Futsu. We got the Kaiju. Being able to Kaiju. Now, the Kaiju is boosted right now. It's better than it should be. It shouldn't be this good. It's extra good because Konami keeps on forgetting to release Eclipse Twins. Thus, the Kaiju, the Wuju at the top right you see there, is able to tribute off the detonator for the extra bonus of making it extra good. And then we have Hipster, top 8 with Magistus. And Hipster, I would very much enjoy you answering my question. Why? Why Magistus over Ryzeal? Why? It looks like it does the same thing, but is worse, right? But I mean, who am I to judge? It worked out, and that's why I want to know why. Why'd you do this? It worked, though. Good job. All right. Rank 4 spam with the Magistus into your Magistus engine. And now we have Ryzeal Mitsurugi, the most dominant deck, immediately being placed at tier 2 from this alone. Let's switch my camera to check out the engines. Holy moly, Bull is playing with Spenta, main decking Protoss Nemesis Flag in this deck. Holy moly. You have 2 Fiendsmith, and then just the regular way to play it. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular ways. I'm gonna add pre-prep as an engine. I will be doing that after I look at the deck list here, because I do want that separated from the ones that are not playing pre-prep. And let's start this off with EMG. Not gonna get too crazy. Let's point out anything that's not standard. What is not standard here? The non-standard thing, all I see is standard across the board. I'm starting from the bottom row, second row, fully standard. The first row, Pirellia is the most unstandard thing. We're not playing Serpent, which is gonna be probably around like a 50% split between who's playing Serpent and not playing Serpent, or is playing it and not playing it. This is as standard as you get to playing Ryzeal Mitsurugi. It works, it's simple. You could argue the Drac-Luxion is, the Harbinger is not standard as the Drac-Luxion. Well, you may be thinking, what do you do with the Drac-Luxion if you're not going to be turning it into a Harbinger? Well, you could turn it into a Dynamundo, possibly, actually not, because the 7 attack will lock into Xyz. Use the Node Ryzeal to send it to the graveyard. It will just be Node fuel. The Ouroboros with no Eclipse, sure. Now we have Neo Hawkeye. What is not standard? Only the non-standard stuff. Photon Lord is not standard. Harbinger is not standard. The Code Igniter, rank 4 Xyz, which allows you to perform another Xyz, which would be if your ritual gets negated by an impulse, you could hopefully make a Code Igniter and then still ritual summon through that. The only 2 prayer instead of 3, that is not standard. 7 tachyon at 1 instead of 3, that's probably going to be an interesting thing on how standard that will be, because we do have a lot more Ryzeals than other people, so you're playing more non-engine instead. Not playing Serpent. We have triple Pirellia because of less tachyon and 1 less prayers. Interesting. Both are, of course, across the board on Droll and Lockbird. Now we have Justinian. Of course, it's not going to be standard to play Fiendsmith, and that's what we are on. Fiendsmith Sanct. If your engraver searches for Sanct, you get drolled. Okay, you keep on making plays from there. You search for Tract, you get drolled. Everyone's on Droll, so that's the reason to play Sanct over the Tract, or you could play both. Preparation, pre-preparation here, you gotta play the Mirror with that. And what else is non-standard besides the Prep, the Sanct, playing Fiendsmith alone? Everything else is looking quite standard. And then full of non-standard craziness, Bull. Obviously, what's not standard here is Nemesis Flag. Returning a banished card back to summon and then search for a Protos. What is Protos calling? Dark. That's it. Dark cannot be special summoned, completely shutting off the Mitsurugi, and everyone's on Mitsurugi. And if they're, well, there's 2 non-Mitsurugi. Well, the 2 non-Mitsurugi, guess what attribute they are? They're also dark. Calling dark stops Maliss and Mitsurugi, so Protos may now be the way, but Protos loses to Droll. I mean, how are you gonna get to, if you search for the Nemesis Flag, you get Drolled, now you're not searching for Protos, and you wasted your search on a Nemesis Flag. And why are we playing Fiendsmith? We play Fiendsmith to beat Droll. You play Protos to lose to Droll, but maybe still first turn kill some people. What else we have here that's not, the Magus cards, obviously not standard. We're 50 cards on this. And when I say not standard, it does not mean bad. It's just interesting and different from the rest. We have Serpent, which as you saw, a lot of people are not playing it. What else is interesting here? So far, everyone's on Aramasa, even on Justinian. And then we have top 8 Morpho. Morpho, 1 Tachyon, not 3. What is not standard here? It looks super duper standard. Serpent is being played. 0 Aramasa. Not playing Aramasa, but is playing Serpent. That is a non-standard choice. All right, 2 Full Loss instead of 3, 2 Droll and Lockbird instead of 3. But not even willing to go to 41 cards to do it. Photon Lord in the extra deck is not standard. The Star Liege, still playing Star Liege. I don't think a lot of people are going to be on Star Liege. We have a Star Liege down here, though. I guess some people will still be on Star Liege. With the loss of Baguska, Star Liege, in some circumstances, will still be able to help your duo drive not get impermed. And also, is Imperm standard? No Imperm, no Imperm. We have Imperm in Justinian's deck, no Imperm, and then we have Imperm. So in a way, Imperm has almost fallen out of favor for Droll and Lockbird instead. And then we have top 4, Renove. It looks like the majority of the Fiendsmith players will be on pre-preparation of rights. Pre-preparation, and we are on the Sanct. We have the Magatama, not standard. Fiendsmith itself is not standard. We're on Serpent, and that is very nice. And now let's go into the second place deck, Kawaki. What is not standard here? We are looking, dude is playing Tachyon and, wait, where's Tachyon to search for Lancia? That's quite interesting. We have the number C102 to search a Lancia to our hand if we know that the opponent's playing Maliss, or when going second, possibly searching it, then surviving a turn. It's how do you know when to search for, I guess more specifically in a tournament, you know for game 2 or 3 to search for the Lancia if you're playing against Maliss. That's an interesting choice. It's normally a side deck thing you do in TCG. Now, beyond the Lancia and making it searchable, what's not standard here is we are playing Serpent. A lot of people are gonna be back and forth on that. We got Pirelli up in here. And then first place, Nicky Boy. Nicky Boy is what's not standard, I would say Impermanence. I do think Droll's gonna be played more than Impermanence across the board. And then the rest of the spell and traps are standard. Monsters, standard. We have Serpent. A really standard deck piloted by a really good player just wins the whole event. Nothing crazy, just super standard. Well done. And a lot of people are on 1 Nibiru because you search with the Grand Knight. I'm gonna consider that to be standard. I think the majority will be playing that. And there you go. What's the tier list looking like? Wow, down arrow. Gem Knight was tier 1 for a day, and Raziel Mitsurugi now tier 2. Regular Mitsurugi at tier 3 already. Absolute insanity. What the heck is going on? There you go. Will regular Mitsurugi be jumping up to tier 1 possibly? It's gonna be weird. It's not that pure Raziel is bad, it's just Mitsurugi Raziel is better. So just because the better version will be played more is why pure Raziel, even though it's being better than a lot of other decks, is probably gonna just fall off the tier list if that continually trends towards people just playing the better version instead. And Maliss will be dropping, possibly even to tier 2 at this. I mean, that's what it's trending towards. We're gonna have another tournament on Sunday, and then this of course accounts for all community tournaments. Absolute insane showing for Raziel Mitsurugi. Crazy. I guess if you weren't on Rise of Mitsurugi, you will now be playing the best deck. If you had second thoughts about it, if you for some reason weren't playing Droll, I mean, who the heck wasn't on Droll? Let's check that. Not to shame them, but I mean, let's see. Let's do this. Exclude Droll. Up arrow, Droll. Not playing Droll. This was last week. This is 100% of people in the top 16 were playing Droll of this week. See, this is all October 5th. And then to show that, just type in Droll. Playing Droll. All of them. Every single one was on Droll. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the 6 here. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what about Droll at 3? We could more specifically, Droll at 3. Droll star 3, we have 10 players, 13 players of 16. 13 of 16 were on 3 Droll. What were the other 3? Let's do 2 Droll. 2 were on 2 Droll. There was 1 on 1 Droll. What are you doing? What the heck? Moy on 1 Droll. So 1 player on 1 Droll, the other 2 were on 2 Droll, and 13 out of the top 16 were on 3 Droll. 100% were on Droll. What about Lancia? Only 1 Mad Lad was playing Lancia, and he was playing it because he could search it with 7 Tachyon. That's pretty cheesy, and that's pretty funny. Very good. This is the card that you're going to use to search it. And there you go.